Please, the show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Bass in your face. Bass in your face.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense is because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. For that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Also, the subscriber mode has been enabled for the first 10 minutes, meaning that if you're not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to subscribe to the channel. First of all, I just want to apologize for starting earlier than what was originally planned. It says that Explaining is going to be on tonight at 9:30, where she's going to give her take regarding Project 2020-2025. So, yeah, good evening, Irving. Yes, it is early, but unfortunately, well, the fact of the matter is Denise is going to be on at 9:30, so I didn't want to conflict with her stream. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who've already subscribed to the channel, whether you've been a supporter from the very beginning or just recently joined. I really appreciate your support. I also wanted to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. Also, a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices. And a huge shout out to those who watch from the clouds, even the haters. Yep, she's going to be on at 9:30. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. I also have another YouTube channel called Latina Diaspora, where I discuss issues pertaining to Latinos. In the description, there's a link to the channel. Okay. And also, as a result of Latin Spain's stream, last night, the stream that which I was going to air is going to be aired at Saturday night at 9:30. So I'm going to ask you, if you're not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on a playback. So as you can see by the thumbnail, the topic of tonight. Good evening, Rondo. How are you doing tonight? Why I have an issue with Donald Trump becoming president again. Okay. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to base what is my rationale. Okay. Of course, I can expect people are going to disagree with you. People going to disagree with me, and I can accept that. Okay. But I mean, the one thing we have to bear in mind, this is not an echo channel here. I do encourage people to think independently And if people who are different views than what I hold, it's perfectly fine. What we can do is we could discuss it, and perhaps we can learn from each other. But the main thing is we be agreeable when we disagree. So before we get into the main topic, I'm going to give you another session of In My Words. Um, I have been disappointed, but not really surprised with corporate media's depiction of the events in the election season, and also regarding candidates that they follow and choose not to follow. Okay. Of course, when Joe Biden was still running, everyone made light of the fact that his cognitive skills has declined, which was truthful. Okay, anyone that see Joe Biden function, I mean, can tell that his cognitive skill has declined significantly. Okay, and in my humble opinion, he should not have run for re-election this year. And I'm coming to the decision he should even run in 2020. Okay. One thing about when you're the president, you must have your wits, you must be fully alert, you must be fully competent. Okay. However, there's been focusing their attention on Joe Biden and his cognitive decline. Now, where I think the media has failed. Okay. Now, what I'm going to say, I'm going to upset some Kamala Harris supporters, but I'm going to say it anyway. Now, there have been accusations regarding the fact when Kamala Harris was the Attorney General, both for San Francisco and for the state of California, that she went out of her way um, to prosecute members of the African American community and actually sentencing them to prison, some of them with questionable evidence. Okay. First of all, my issue is not that, okay, not it didn't happen or it did happen. The question is why the media has not questioned Kamala Harris regarding this issue. Because if there's an issue regarding a district attorney going out of their way to prosecute a member of a certain community um, with questionable evidence or lack of evidence, that's a major issue. Okay, and that's something. Those are questions that should have been raised. I know if I have the opportunity to speak with Kamala Harris, I'll ask her those questions, and then she'll have to give a response. Whether she gives a truthful response, that I don't know. Okay. Also, another area where media has failed has been the way they cover Donald Trump. Good evening, Don Armando. Thank you very much for stopping by. And let me just say for the record, Don Armando has his channel, so I'm going to ask that you show some love to him and subscribe to his channel. Okay. Basically, they've given Donald Trump carte blanche to say whatever or do whatever without reporting it. And in my estimation, his cognitive skills has declined as well. Okay. But this okay, well, Rondo, okay, this is the point. If there's accusations, it is the media's responsibility to ask questions. Okay. Okay. Now I see here we have a guest already. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, before I invite my guests, let me just state for the record that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your image. Somebody views that people hold may be offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. And we're going to bring good evening, Don Armando.
Hey, good evening. How you doing?
Fine. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Wow. I'm just laughing at at the circus. So, it is what it is.
Are you referring to what happened
Yeah.
last stream regarding individuals that hold certain views regarding at least one or both of the candidates?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I felt a little bit uncomfortable because I wanted to focus on the debate itself,
Right,
not because not regarding the candidates per se. I mean,
right,
okay, because look, let's keep it real, okay. Um, Anyone can have issues with either Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, okay, and that's
yeah,
fine, okay. But my thing is this: the media has gone out of its way to talk about Donald Trump's cognitive skills and his decline. Nothing has been mentioned regarding Trump. And also, nothing mentioned regarding the allegation raised regarding Kamala Harris when she was district attorney.
right. And you want to know something which is funny, right? And which been the joke ever since the debate, right?
Yes.
That everybody is talking about the cats and dogs. I
Oh
went up and I
yes.
poked.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah, I poked fun of it, and then the next thing you know, I'm being called a fake Dominican again, which is funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, Dag. So I guess I can't post jokes now. Oh, I forgot. This is the United States. What up, Irby?
Well,
What up,
well,
Don?
but this is the thing. And okay, one thing, and I said this, I don't know how many times that I lost count,
Right,
which is the following. Okay. If you're going to support these people, do your research regarding what they have done and what they're going to do. And if you still can support them, fine. I have major
exactly.
issues with Donald Trump. Okay. Part of it has to do with Project 2025, which guess what? Denise is going to be talking about it at 9:30.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
So I'm going to be interested to see what's going to be her take on it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole point that Donald Trump is being persecuted, I think that's a bit of a stretch. Okay. Now I think it's unusual that a president candidate is facing 98 charges. Okay, and the
And
fact
still
that
running.
and the fact he was found guilty of 34. We can disagree regarding whether or not charges should have merit and making a big deal because basically he had a corn star as a side chick. Okay, the fact of the matter is they prove in a court that they had accusations and he was found guilty.
Right.
Okay. But all of a sudden, it's like I'm looked at as I'm weird. I'm looked at as like I'm not analyzing these things carefully, that I'm basing everything on corporate media. No.
I mean, me personally is this, right? What I think we should do is, if you have some lawyer friends, right, and because there's a lot of branches of law. There's business law, there's criminal law, and everything like that.
Yeah.
I think that in order for everybody to understand the charges and people who actually study law, I think we need to interview one of these days a lawyer that could actually break down the charges. We're not gonna go around and slander each candidate or anything like that. We're just gonna try to actually give information for the people on what this man is facing or what this
Yeah.
man is guilty of, and what can be done if he was to maybe or may not be reelected, because I don't predict the future. But the thing is, though, what I'm trying to say, like, just I just need a lawyer, or we might need to interview a lawyer, so therefore they could break down each charge in layman's terms.
Okay. You know what I might do? At my next trustees meeting,
All right.
what I might do is I might approach one of the attorneys and see if they're available to come to my platform so they can have a discussion regarding what is it that Donald Trump is being accused of, and then we can break it down that way. Um, it's just it's just that, and I was questioned when I stated that Donald Trump's cognitive skills has declined. If you look, I'm saying all I'm saying. Take a look at Donald Trump in 2015 and you compare it to Donald Trump of today. Okay, when was the last time that you saw a sane person talking about Hannibal Lecter?
Mm,
When was the last time you saw a person talking about that windmills cause you cancer?
mm.
Okay, no, I know and I understand it. But believe me, corporate media has not done its fair job. They should have brought the. I mean, there are questions they should have addressed to Kamala Harris, and they need to they need to hold Donald Trump accountable for what he says and does. Now all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm weird. Can you explain it? Okay. It looks like Don Armando is muted himself because just give me a moment.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, just 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
If if we're gonna actually talk about politics and everything like that, you got people who are just like who they like because of I guess the laws or whatever it may be, or whatever fascination that they have with the leader. But
Yeah.
then you have certain people who are actually voting for the top for the stuff that they want, as far as changing their communities and so.
Mm-hmm.
In my adage, right? And as far as the debates and everything like that, I see that everybody is prejudiced, right? And they post their memes about whatever is being said because of support of which candidate, right?
Yes.
But me personally, this is what I think. If we're gonna actually have like a fair presidency or a fair election in the future, my thing is that okay, why don't you, like the olden days, whether it'll be a Democrat or a Republican, post both um commercials all over the place and everything, all over the place, all over the 50 states. So that way, so therefore, and that way the public could actually make a detailed decision on the candidate they want instead of propaganda and maybe how should you say professional lies. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, they can garner more voters instead of attacking the issues.
Yeah. Let me just address a point. And Kamala Harris has highlighted the fact that Donald Trump is a convict. Let me make this perfectly clear. The qualifications to become president is you have to be a naturalized American and at least 35 years old. That's it. Being the fact that you were convicted of a crime does not mean you cannot run for office. That doesn't mean you cannot run for president. Okay? And I got news flash. Donald Trump is not the first convict to run to become president.
All right.
Okay, let me finish this point.
All right.
In 1920, Eugene Debs was convicted of violating the Sedition Act of 1918. Okay, he ran as the candidate for the Socialist Party in 1920. He ran. He was not successful. Okay, so this whole point that he's a convict. Okay, it does not mean that the person cannot run. Now, you was about to say something. Go ahead, please.
All right. Because I was like, all right. I think the reason why they're actually trying to ride that is because you have certain people who are, they want to go as soon as somebody has a charge and stuff, they want to brand them a criminal forever. So my thing is that you have certain people in the United States that they won't change, or they'll try to bring your past just so they could throw stones at you. And to me, it depends on the person and everything. So so I didn't know that, and you actually taught me something about that. So hopefully, let's see what happens, because from what I know, it might, when it comes November, it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, look, the fact of the matter, look, like I said, this is something, and I've been saying for months when it was Biden versus Trump. Both parties' candidates has issues. Okay. Now, in all fairness, you can vote for a third party candidate. The problem now, this is where the problem is, and this is something that we need to bear in mind. Third party candidates have not done very well, okay, as far as the popular vote and the electoral college. The last time we had a third party candidate that gained a significant number of electoral votes was 1968, when George Wallace, as a third party candidate, gotten about 46 electoral votes, and he was a segregationist. The other time that we had a third party candidate that did reasonably well was in 1912, when Theodore Roosevelt ran as a third party candidate for the Progressive Party, and he got about 88 electoral votes. The problem with third party candidates, first of all, you have to be on the ballot for all 50 states. And we all know both parties are going to raise holy hell to make sure that that does not happen. Also, to get that message across, it's going to take a huge amount of money. Okay. I mean, if you take a look at the DNC, they gained so far close to $500 million this year alone. A lot of it after Kamala Harris became the Democratic candidate. And the other issue that's been talked about, that no one selected Kamala Harris to be the candidate. Newsflash. Gerald Ford became president without the benefit of an election. Okay. What happened was in 1973, Spiro Agnew, who was the vice president of the United States, resigned due to a scandal that he was involved with while he was the governor of Maryland. Gerald Ford, who was the minority speaker of the House, was selected to be vice president. And when President Nixon resigned, Gerald Ford became president. So this is not the first time that person was not voted by the people became president. And let me remind people, prior to the beginning of the DNC, they had a virtual vote and they selected Kamala Harris. Your thoughts? Okay. It looks like.
All right, you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right. As I was saying that if if you look at what Kamala Camp is and everything like that, I guess she
Yeah.
has made stride just for that short notice since Biden says that he was not going to do it anymore, right? But
Yeah.
then if you really look at it and all this stuff that's been happening, Biden, Trump, what have you, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and that attempt on Trump. It's to the point that with all these happening and the people who are actually extremists for both parties, I'm just talking about the extremists. It could go either way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But all I'm saying is whoever you go to support, whether it be Conway West, whether it be Bobby Kennedy Jr., whether it be Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, whoever, or even Mickey Mouse, or maybe you're just gonna write your own name as a writing candidate. Whoever you support, do your due diligence, okay? And then if you feel comfortable with your choice, go ahead. You know what? At this point, Randall,
Yeah, I'm
anything,
here.
yeah, anything is possible. But
Yeah.
but now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get to the main topic. Okay. Now let me just state what I'm doing is expressing an opinion. That's all I'm doing. Okay. But it is an opinion based on what I'm able to see, what I'm able to gather information, and what I have learned. Okay. My decision is not because the person wrote an angry tweets or angry truths or whatever. It's not because the person speaks without filter. Okay. I am just simply expressing my opinion. Okay. And I'm just explaining the why. Okay. Um, I am not voting for Donald Trump. Point blank. Okay. And I have stated my reasons why. First of all, first of all, let's discuss the fact that he handled the COVID-19 pandemic very poorly. Okay. First of all, he tried to downplay our health crisis that under his watch, hundreds of thousands of Americans died. And then for much of his time, But he made such crazy statements like take bleach, that take bleach, and that will cure it, and stuff like oh, it'll be over by Easter. Okay, so he didn't take this crisis seriously. Okay, number one. Number two, he did not develop a national policy how to deal with this crisis. So what you have is you have 50 state governors coming up with 50 different ways to deal with the health crisis. So some people acted responsible, some people acted really responsible. Your thoughts, Don Armando? Okay, while we're waiting for Don Armando to fix his. Okay, let me just state for the record that the link to join the panel has been pinned. If anyone wishes to join the panel and express a point of view, you can if you want to disagree with me, whatever, you can do so. But maybe make perfectly clear, if I've never seen you before and I've never heard from you, I will insist that you come up in the backstage because I don't want anyone coming here and flashing anything inappropriate, which would cause the people at YouTube to take down the stream. Okay. Now, Barack Obama, who was the previous president, set up procedures and things and a team to deal with crisis like this. Donald Trump fired the team. Okay. Now, did he develop was a vaccine developed under his term in office? Yes. Okay. But the fact of the matter is, he did not take it seriously. He did not. Okay. He um, he exposed himself to large groups of people, and this was before we have uh, a cure for COVID-19. And the fact of the matter is, when you are the president, you need to be able to lead by example, not no, not act irresponsibly. Okay, and going around with large rallies in the middle of a health crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your thoughts, Don Armando?
I mean, if you really look at it, it's like a lot of the stuff was flawed under Donald Trump and everything else. And then with the vaccines and stuff, it's like you, a lot of people have had complications with that and everything. So we don't know what it is. Was it an experiment or is was it quote unquote control of the population? It's like it's like right now people who actually certain people that took it about okay this is like it helped I guess with the COVID-19, but then certain people said that I don't know. But what people need to find out that it was not a cure, believe it or not,
Yeah.
and that's what people have said.
Yeah. Good evening, Gigi. Welcome to the
Hey,
stream.
Gigi.
Okay, and of course, Gigi has her channel, so I'm gonna ask that you show some love for her and subscribe to her channel. Um, you already see what's the topic. I'm just simply stating my explanation why I'm making the choices I'm making. Okay, I know people would disagree with me, and that's perfectly fine. We can discuss it here as adults. Okay, but my thing is this: I have issues with Donald Trump. I have issues with Kamala Harris. Okay. And one of the issues, okay, well, and again, a lot of the issues I have with the media is that there was certain accusation made against Kamala Harris, and the media is not even talking about it. So, and I know what I'm saying is gonna piss up some Kamala Harris supporters, but you know what? I don't. So what? If there's an accusation, if there's a question, if there's a concern, the media needs to discuss it. The media needs to bring it to these candidates' attention so they can answer the questions. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And of course, another issue that I have is a thing called Project 2025. And actually, there is a link in the description regarding the stream regarding Project 2025. And the issue I have with that is that, first of all, what I'm concerned that Donald Trump will do is he will replace the thousands of federal municipal employees which are unionized and replace them with supporters, many of them who are not qualified to do the jobs. Okay. Also, another issue I have with Project 2025 is it weakens the systems of checks and balances. It's there for a reason. So therefore, there is accountability. The executive branch is accountable to both the legislative branch and the judicial branch. And all three branches of government are accountable to each other. Under Project 2025, the check systems, the checks and balances will be weakened. Also, another issue that I have with Project 2025 is that they want to eliminate the Department of Education and the Department of Homeland Security. Okay. And then there's other issues which I have with Project 2025. Okay. But the thing is, I don't want to make this a 3-hour stream because I do have to keep it under 90 minutes because Denise is going to be live tonight at 9:30. So, and I really want to hear her take regarding Project 2025. Your thoughts, Don Armando? Okay. Uh, it seems okay. Okay. It seems like I don't know whether. Oh, okay. All right. So what? Okay. Another issue that I have with Trump, his inability to accept the result of the 2020 election. Okay, first of all, he have had multiple lawsuits to try to overturn the decision regarding the 2020 election, and he has failed every time. Okay, the fact of the matter is this: Joe Biden got more votes both on the popular vote and the electoral college. Okay. And this is something that has happened 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And still to this day, Trump cannot accept that he lost, even though he had multiple opportunities to go to court to try to make his state's case, and he has failed. to prove that that the decision had to be overturned. Now I get it. It's tough when you lose an election. I get it. You know, it could be very demoralizing considering when you spend anywhere from a year. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm not going to trivialize it. Okay. But I will say this 98 counts. That's a lot by any stretch of the imagination. But the reality is this in the 2020 election, more people voted for Joe Biden than for Donald Trump. The reality is this he got more votes in the Electoral College than Donald Trump. That is the reality. Okay, and I'm not even going to address the things like the insurrection, whatever, and him trying to call to have fake electors in there. I'm not even going to address that. Okay, but these are some of the things, and part of having a temperament is to be able, as much of it hurts, to accept your loss with grace and congratulate the winner. Okay. John McCain did it when Barack Obama won. Hillary Clinton did it when Donald Trump became president. Back in 2000, Al Gore congratulated George W. Bush in the 2000 election. Okay, and that was one of the most controversial elections. Okay, that occurred because basically the case went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, for good or for ill, decided the outcome of the election. And look, I'm going to say this. We have the following choices when it comes to this election. I don't know if I would say that. I don't know if I would say that he threw the election. I do know for one thing that he campaigned hard and he came very close. Okay, had he won the state of Florida, we would have been talking about the Al Gore presidency, not the George W. Bush presidency. Okay, but even with that, and considering the way he lost, he was gracious enough to extend a congratulations to George W. Bush. Donald Trump did not. In fact, Donald Trump didn't even attend Joe Biden's inauguration. Okay. Okay. So now one thing we have to bear in mind, okay, and there's been a lot of talking about that Donald Trump was convicted, that supposedly Kamala Harris slept her way from the top to get to where she is today. Okay, first of all, Let's make this perfectly clear. A lot of the people that served as president did things that were, that lacked moral character. Okay, Kennedy was alleged to have multiple affairs, not just with Marilyn Monroe, not just with an intern, but also with some of women of questionable reputation. Woodrow Wilson actually showed the movie Birth of a Nation in the White House, which is basically a movie glorifying the KKK. Andrew Jackson forced thousands of indigenous people out of their homes into somewhere else, even though the Supreme Court ruled he couldn't do it. Okay? There have been multiple presidents that have been unfaithful to their spouses. So this whole notion that Donald Trump is a convict and Kamala Harris slept her way to the top. I mean, and again, we have to bear this in mind. We are electing someone that's going to be commander in chief, not pastor in chief. And guess what? When you have people in that position, in positions of authority, sometimes they're going to do things that are considered immoral. Okay. All I'm saying, Irby, is this: if we're going to talk about Kamala Harris's past and what she might have done, then we need to discuss everyone who has a past, because everybody has a past. Everybody. Okay. So okay. And I'm not, believe me, I have issues with Kamala Harris. I have a lot. Okay. I disagree when it comes to reproductive rights. I disagree. I disagree when it comes to certain things regarding the LGBTQ plus community. Okay. I get it. Okay. But I am sick and tired of Trump talking about, how the election was rigged, and how how the election was stolen, what have you. And now he's talking about somewhere in Spring Hill, Ohio, when the aliens are eating dogs and cats. Good evening, Mamon. How you doing tonight? Okay. In fairness, Rondo, in fairness, her father is Jamaican, her mother is Indian. So I'm not. Okay. That's all I'm going to say when it comes to her ethnicity. I am not going to say that she's not black. I'm not going to say that she is black. Because frankly, that's not my place. Okay. I don't know if that's true or not true. Okay. But again, people, a lot of the people who have been president of the United States have made questionable moral choices in their personal lives. Okay. Bill Clinton basically had all simulation by an intern, and they tried to impeach him because of that. Basically they're trying to do what basically Donald Trump was convicted of having a corn star as a side chick and then try to hide it. Yeah. Believe me, they need to discuss policy. They need to discuss, and which brings me to the next reason why I have issue with Donald Trump. He has said virtually nothing regarding how he's going. Okay, basically what he's going to do is he's going to deport 11 million, 11 million people. He's going to build a wall again, and that's about it. Okay. And he's talking about doing away with the Affordable Care Act and coming up with a concept to replace it. Okay? And this is the thing. If you're going, look, and this is not the first time he's tried to eliminate the Affordable Care Act. Okay? Is it perfect? No. But at least it's an attempt, and it's a good faith attempt to provide millions of Americans who didn't have healthcare coverage to get healthcare coverage. Okay? And made it possible with people with pre-consistent to get medical care. You get rid of the Affordable Care Act, guess what? People who have previous medical conditions can be denied medical coverage.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry because I had to mute the noise and everything like that. But the thing is, though, one thing that I don't really agree with on Project 25 is that you're gonna go and put unqualified men into these positions, and then when a lot of stuff will actually be a cluster bubble of um of things and policies that is not going to help the American people. I don't think that, and then on top of it, it hurts people that actually help people, like in your position, Don Jose. I
Mm-hmm.
don't actually. I'm like I don't really even do anything with how should I say Project 2025 because it looks like that they were about to do something and then they did right. And then if you actually look at the presidency, they say, "Oh, we're going to build a wall." Okay, so you put a wall right there, and the wall was incomplete. So you mean to tell me that he went up and spent a lot of Americans' tax dollars into a wall that was not even completed? First of all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what? And then think about it. He just say, "Yeah, we're going to build a wall and everything," and
Mm-hmm.
then when they build the wall, it's not completed. So therefore, you didn't go and have a whole bunch of illegals went up and was getting into the country anyway. So my thing is that what did he actually do when he made his campaign promises and he didn't really complete them? That's my thing.
Yeah. Exactly. And he's talking about Mexico is going to pay for the wall.
Yeah, he had good luck with that, right? I mean, let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
Let's say if Mexico did pay for the wall, right? And then with Mexican politics is with you know these shadow organizations within Mexico. So with that and everything like that, and it was like, oh, Mexico is going to foot the bill. Okay, so if they're going to foot the bill, that's actually going to come by the people who support you, right? Because a lot of people that support you actually do business in Latin America. mainly in Mexico and Colombia. Let's keep it real. So if these people are talking about, oh, you're gonna fit the bill, I'm like, okay, so if you say, yeah, they're gonna fit the bill, and then you have an incomplete wall, and then there's a whole bunch of people that still get into the country illegally, like, what did you really accomplish? The only thing I could actually say that Donald Trump did do, as far as regard to the black community, he actually got a lot of people who was actually imprisoned unjustly and everything like that, and he actually pardoned them. So a lot of people, they don't talk about that. But as far as the immigration talk and everything, and now everybody he was like, oh, if he's elected, he's going to build a wall. So you're going to build a wall again, and then what? It's going to be like $1 billion waste where it's not even a constructed plan for a wall. Like, come on. Like the dude was acting like he was gonna build the Great Wall of China, and it didn't happen.
Which means okay, which leads me to my final thing, the issue I have with Trump, because actually there's more. It's just that unfortunately I'm trying to keep it under 90 minutes because Denise is going to be on at 9:30 talking about Project 2025, and I really want to hear what is her take on it. Is that they had a plan to deal with the migrant crisis. Okay, a deal which was negotiated with Democrats and Republicans and conservative Republicans. Okay, now granted, it took her over a year to deal with it. Okay, and believe me, the biggest issue that I have with the current administration is the piss poor job dealing with the migrant crisis. But at least they had a plan how to deal with it. And they actually got bipartisan support. Guess who led the charge to kill that? Donald Trump.
Of course, he went up and did that because think about it. He actually said like when he lost the election, he was going to actually run on that. So, so therefore, I think what the Democrats did to be spiteful is that, oh, so you want to build a wall? Okay, we're going to bring all these people in. So therefore, like maybe in the next generation, they're not talking about this like these 4 years, because what a lot of people don't understand is that a person could be a migrant, right? So therefore, if they're going to be here and everything like that, the path to citizenship, they'll have to be here like around more or less 5 years, right? Or
Mhm.
a person who actually goes through the immigration process, right, will have to be a resident of 5 years. Will have to have the green card for 5 years. So therefore, when they have the green card for 5 years, and then they become a U.S. citizen or whatnot. Because I had a lot of my relatives that did that. Even my mother, when she actually did whatever, she waited 20 something years just to be a citizen of the United States. So, but my dad, he did that before. So my things is this. So therefore, the Democrats, in order to spite Trump, they went up and they was like, oh, we're gonna bring all these people here. So therefore, not for this generation, or maybe like 5 or 10 years down the line, if all these people are hardworking and everything like that, we could have like a voting base. But then with these Venezuelan street organizations, that just went up and turned the bad eye or whatever. So my thing is this: since that plan went kaput, right? And then the United States is actually sending billions of dollars of taxpayer money to the Ukraine and everything. And there's a political aspect of that too, because I guess it was like one of those elections. I don't know, it was the first, or there was like, oh, so you know what? Russia went up and made the Democrats lose. So now that the Russians are want to take over Ukraine and everything, let's go around and give the Russians so much hell just because of what they did to us. So therefore, we're sending $1 billion, so therefore Putin can lose. because everybody knew that Putin and Trump were cool. You know what I'm saying? Americans were going to Russia back and forth with no problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But now, since the Ukraine war and people are actually against it, or whatever or what have you, because of the extremist views behind it, it's to the point now that that war, depending on who's giving who and everything like that, it
Uh-huh.
might. And then Trump was like, "I will have these people sit right there." It's going to be to the point that I think these people are going to still warn because Ukraine got their weapons and they now, from what I'm watching, they're actually they're actually giving the Russians hell on the battlefront. And then and then I actually listen to certain Russians, who are actually against what Putin is doing. They're
Hmm.
saying that every man, or I guess they used to be from in the United States too. Every man who's actually of age has to conscript to that army. And then people who didn't even want to fight in the war in the first place are actually turning to the Ukraine side just to fight against the Russian government. So it's crazy. The money that is being lost in the United States right now.
Yeah. Now I'm going to give you one more issue that I have with Donald Trump. Okay, has to do with his position regarding so-called reproductive rights. Okay, in the beginning, he was pro-choice. Then, to try to get the favor of the evangelical Christian community, he became pro-life. Then he decided, well, under the current administration, we got to protect reproductive rights. So much to the extent that the evangelical community is up in the arms because they felt they're being betrayed by Donald Trump. Okay?
I mean,
And and, and,
yep.
and he's talking about how Kamala Harris has flip flopped when it comes thracking or whatever it is. Donald Trump is doing something worse. Okay? Basically, what he starts doing, he's trying to, you know, flip flop to try to get women to vote for him. Now, it's one thing if you actually have positions and then in time you thought about it and maybe you see things in a different way. Because in my case, I'm pro life. I could not see abortion under any circumstances. And then in time, I came
What
back
up,
and said,
Ramon?
okay, you know what? Good evening,
Hey
Ramon.
Don.
And then I came to
Hey,
understand, you know what? It's not an easy decision for women to terminate the pregnancy, but that does make it possible. Like in the cases of rape, incest, or when the mother's life is in danger, we have to allow certain exceptions. So how are you doing tonight,
Exactly.
Ramon?
doing okay. Doing all right on this Friday the 13th. I had a long day. Unusually
Yeah, same
difficult.
here.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm not a superstitious person, but when it comes to a Friday the 13th, I dread them because there is always some BS that
Yeah,
does
yeah.
happen.
I think the BS is the Jason marathons on that used to happen on cable television back in the day. It was like Friday the 13th, Jason Dawn, and then they show all the movies that had Jason on it. I'm like, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That didn't help. That wouldn't have
So
helped.
Yeah.
so let me just bring up the speed, Ramon. So basically, I'm just stating why I cannot support Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we have already gone over it. I mean, dealing with the with the MAGA cult ish for the last what 8 years already. Yeah,
Nine.
All right. So,
kind of
all right.
long.
So, Malone, I gotta ask you a question. Since you do live like in a MAGA state, right?
Yeah.
What are the attitudes from, I guess, from the city where you live at and other cities that you have traveled to in Texas regarding Trump and Republicans, et cetera, et cetera. What are like the belief? What are like the beliefs in the TV ads that you have seen within the past 4 years when Trump was in office?
Oh, well, I remember it was at the beginning when I will see all of this excitement about him, and I will see people wearing the red hats around. But that's something that we wouldn't talk so much about it. The most that I saw was at my job. The president of the company back then, since then he's been laid off. The president back then did after after the election show up to work wearing a red hat, which is something that is not encouraged. It's a private company, and making political statements is not really not really encouraged. But the president did show up with a MAGA hat at work, and I had another coworker who was actually cool. He was a nice guy and all, but he was like very very right wing, very Republican, and wearing the Trump hats at work and all. He's not working. He's not working there anymore. I'm not saying it was because of that, but you know how it is at the workplace. Sometimes when it comes to personal politics, it's something that it's best to keep it to oneself. Now I am in a city,
Uh,
in one of the major cities, where you really don't see so much kind of like advertising billboards and things like that. It's not like what I saw in Mississippi, because I was living in Mississippi during the Obama administration, and people hated him there. A lot of people hated him there. Not everybody. There were people that were okay with them, but I will see kind of like large signs, things that had to do with when he was working on the economic stimulus package, and there were smaller banks that were saying stimulus, no thanks, this and that and the third. Or people will be talking on the radio about him, talking about how he was going to weaponize the government, and it was going to become uh, 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 he was forced into being a Muslim country, and he was gonna take people's guns, which is something something that didn't happen. I saw more about that back then, but when it comes to Trump over here, for the most part, people don't really talk about it. But there were a couple of instances in which I came across certain white folks that will even after he was voted out of office, they will be saying it would be better if it was President Trump back in the White House, things like that. Okay, they have every right to talk like that. Just
all right.
let it be. So that was kind of like the most that I saw. There were sporadic instances, but I didn't see kind of like people taking to the streets, waving waving the flags or anything like that. It wasn't anything serious.
Mhm.
Right.
Well, in 2028, I think I should launch a campaign to become president. The
No.
platform will be here. We must say all.
Don't start with the weather.
No. No. No.
Don't start talking.
No. No. No.
Don't start with
No.
that garbage about the weather. No,
No.
no,
No.
stop, stop.
No.
We heard it. We heard
I
it all.
mean, I mean, like if you really look at it, come on, right? I think I actually should start my campaign on how Trump was like make America great again. I think I'm going to start my campaign saying make America shave again, all right? Because let's keep it for real. This what I'm saying is actually satirical. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna happen because let's keep it for real. It's just I'm just saying that to piss off one person, and it actually worked over 2 years.
Mhm.
So my thing is that okay, since I'm gonna run a satirical campaign, I'm like a lot of America problems like in the bigger cities, it's the narcotics and everything like that. So therefore, if you want to actually make people feel better about themselves and everything like that, 9 times out of 10 they need to shave. Because look, you have people who are disheveled and everything like that. They don't have confidence or whatsoever. So therefore, if they actually get a free shave, and I'm talking about as far as their face and everything like that, and then they have like a better confidence level. I think that when you have a lot of individuals with better confidence levels, you would
Mhm.
see a lot of these instances of drug use and maybe crime maybe on the decrease because people could actually feel better about themselves when they have a nice fresh shave. But that's just
Yeah,
my opinion, though.
yeah. Well, it's not just the shave. It's also a haircut, a bath, clean clothes. When you look good, you feel good. I agree, but it's not the shave
Yeah,
alone. It's not gonna do it. Maybe a makeover and maybe the opportunity to kind of like do better. But unfortunately, this is something that we have talked about before. There are people that are homeless, and they kind of would rather stay that way. Maybe I am cynical about that because of how I grew up, where I'm from, and I grew up seeing it. There were people
yeah,
that will be homeless with a substance abuse problem, but they didn't want to get themselves cleaned up because then they will have to actually get up early in the morning and and go and earn a living and be productive members of society. They didn't want to hear that. They didn't want to do that. They would rather stay homeless and beg at the traffic lights to get enough money for the next hit. That is too common.
yep,
Where I'm from is something that is it happens too much, and on a greater scale, kind of like what happens in California with the homeless with the homeless situation. I'm not saying everybody. I know it's messed up. It sounds messed up what I'm saying, but there are many people that are homeless that would rather stay that way because they already get what they need out of the cities and the counties. They give them certain
right,
jobs, and they already need like that bare minimum. And maybe they get another way to get whatever it is that they are hooked on, but they
right,
get it in a safer manner. Okay, that are, not everybody's like that. Not everybody's like that, of course, but there are many people that are like that. They would rather stay like that because they're getting everything for free, everything that they need for free. And why change it? Why clean
yeah,
up? Why having to get up early, be a productive member of society, actually have to earn a living, pay bills, pay rent, when I can just get it for free, stay homeless, get things for free. There are people that
right,
Well,
are like that, unfortunately.
well,
right.
my
But everything's
campaign,
for free, ain't free.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, my campaign is make every pet safe again. Okay.
every pet safe again. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. But this is one thing. But this is one thing that I'm actually shocked by. Right
Yes.
now, as you know, and this is just a theory, and certain people could get mad at it, but I don't care. If anybody has been to an Asian restaurant, and the
I
reason why
know,
I'm
I know
using
where you're going with
the reason why I'm saying that is that we've been to a lot of people maybe in their lives they've been to a lot of Asian restaurants.
it.
So
Mhm.
therefore, depending on where you were at or which um place that you actually call home, nine
Mhm.
times out of 10 you might or might not have might have eaten a rat, a cat, or a dog. Now, with that said, and a lot of people are now want to go with the myth saying, "Oh yeah, it's the Haitians that's doing it and everything." Like I'm like, okay, well, let's put it like this. It looked like that some of the rumors were debunked. That okay, that they arrested a woman that she was going through a mental episode and she ate a cat, right? But yet it turns out that woman is not Haitian.
Yeah, that was a
First,
citizen.
that,
That was a
exactly.
citizen.
Okay.
Exactly. And then the second part,
And that was even from a post on Facebook of a lady that heard something from another person that it was a rumor. It was hearsay.
yeah,
It wasn't even proven. It was hearsay.
yeah,
Somebody who knew somebody who had ate a cat or dog. It was hearsay.
right,
There was no
right.
for it.
And then what is funny is that okay, that there's people that actually that they showed a man, I guess he was walking with the geese or whatever,
Mhm.
and such, and they went up and they dubbed that man as Haitian. When the fact is, they actually asked the guy. The guy was actually, I guess, from some country in southern Africa. So therefore, this is my thing, right? Now they're talking about cats and dogs and geese, right? Okay, so I don't have sympathy for the geese because that's a wild animal, right? I guess there might be, protective laws against it or whatever the case may be. But you cannot go around and fault a man that's not from this country if he knows that I'm like, yo, I'm in this country. I don't know nothing about supermarkets or anything like that. I see something that I want, and I'm just gonna go on and prepare how I do it in my own country, right? So therefore,
Hmm.
people having the outrage of the man killing the geese and everything like that. I'm like, for Pete's sake, a lot of people go around they kill duck and they unalive ducks for food, right? So therefore, what makes a geese a geese that a guy went up he unalived it for food and everything like that? Why y'all actually? Where's the outrage? Is the outrage is because he's from another country and he did it, or is I guess non to the American norm that how he actually got the geese and now he's walking with it, or they haven't seen how real men actually hunt in other countries. So therefore, I just want to find where the outrage is at, where the man just went up and got a geese. That's all I want to know because I actually
Okay.
thought that ducks and geese and everything like that. If you saw it and everything like that, if you have the skill to get it, you just get it.
Yeah. So, guys, we got to stop to wrap this up because our friend Denise is going to be on in a few minutes. And I want to hear her take regarding Project 2025. So, we're going to start to take closing remarks, try to keep it brief. So, Donna Mando, your final thoughts.
Well, this is my final thoughts. We got to save the cats and we have to save the dogs now, and stop blaming Haitians for anything and everything. I know that as a Dominican, Haitians and Dominicans, we have our differences and everything like that. But
Mhm.
please, if you're gonna go around with the rumor and then spread it right there, and then it didn't even make sense when Donald Trump went up and said it. I mean, like, come on, let's be honest. If you're gonna go and try to put a stereotype on people, everybody has stereotypes in this country. We're not gonna let this down, right? And now
Mhm.
you're gonna go and bestow the stereotype that Haitians eat cats and dogs and stuff, or kidnapping cats and dogs for them to eat. I mean, like at the end of the day, it just sounds ludicrous. I know Haitians that they actually could cook good. I never ate Haitian food, but one thing I do know, which is a fact from the Haitians that I know in New York, they don't eat cat and dog. So to me, that's ludicrous to even be spreading that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. And now we're going to hear from Ramon on his final remarks. The man who wants to go to
No,
Springfield, Ohio, and save every dog and every cat and every geese over there. Who wants to go to New York City to save every little mousey and bring it to a safe environment. The introvert Boricua.
no. Thank you, Jose. First, I wanna make a clarification out here where I'm at. The Asian places, the Asian restaurants usually have Hispanics in the kitchen, so it is less of a chance that they're gonna be cooking cats, dogs, and rats. I wanted to say that up front. Um, yeah, it's kind of relative when it comes to to the animals that people eat, because in Puerto Rico there are people that eat iguana meat, and there are people in the south that eat possums. But then again, that it depends on the, the group of people that you're talking about. It's just that this specific claim that the Haitians are eating cats and dogs, as of this time, as of now, it is not there is hasn't been any actual proof of that. It's just yeah, Cayman is becoming a thing. There are some of the major rivers in Puerto Rico where they are actually find caimans, but I don't know if they are eating them or over there. I mean, I have eaten alligator meat, and it's really good. But when it comes to the caimans in Puerto Rico, I don't know if they have learned to eat that. The latest thing now, there are catfish in the rivers in Puerto Rico. Now catfish is a thing now. I learned about it recently, but people in Puerto Rico don't eat that. Those are kind of like bottom dwellers, literal bottom dwellers. From what I understand, that they stay to the bottom of the river and they nibble on the rocks and on the bottom of the bottom of the river. So they're not very clean. They're not very clean fish. And yeah, I came across a video that that was showing that they were showing the catfish being picked out of the river and tossed and just tossed aside, because that's not natural. It's not catfish is not natural to the rivers in Puerto Rico, just like the caimans are not either. But caimans could pose a threat. I mean, they don't grow too big in Puerto Rico, but they're becoming more common. But Jose, I appreciate you letting me be on your panel. I mean, I know, I came in late, so I didn't get to say too much about it. But I agree. All of the reasons that you stated. No, Trump shouldn't be president again. We have talked about it before. He's been coming unhinged lately, obviously, because he's trying to stay out of jail. But thank you, Jose, and until next one. Appreciate you
Okay.
having me.
Okay, well, thank you again. Thank you very much for coming. And of course, I'm going to ask you, if you're not done so, please subscribe to both Don Amando's channel and the Intro of Puerto Rico. I'm just going to briefly give you my final thoughts. Again, this is just my thoughts why I cannot support Donald Trump for another 4-year term. I mean, I could have talked for at least 4 or 5 hours. It's just that I just basically discussed some of the things which are the main reasons why. When everything is said and done, you decide who you're going to support. You can support whoever you wish. The only thing I would suggest people is, please do your due diligence and your research regarding what they want to do or say they want to do. And if you're still comfortable supporting them, by all means do so. And if you cannot vote for any of these people, you can always write your name. And maybe someone will write the name of Jose Negron for president, whose mission would be to make America cool again. But in any case, I really appreciate all the people in the chat and everyone that appeared on the panel. And of course, I appreciate those who were, in the playback again, who check it out. And of course, leave your comments. Just make sure, try to keep it responsible. I will be live tomorrow night on my other channel when I'm going to be talking about some of the role models regarding Latinos, being that we're approaching Hispanic Heritage Month. So with that being said, I'm going to close the same way that we always close. We must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by the stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, saying good night, take care, and have a good weekend, and peace.